And we are live once again, the fourth Wednesday in September. Hey, Kevin, do you know there's 5 Wednesdays in September? So that means we're not going to be here next week. So
get a holiday, get some time off. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, well, and also we want to wrap this great conversation we've been having about the extras that don't get talked about a lot when you go shopping for a floor, whether it's carpeting or laminate or a vinyl plank. It's the little extras, and you're like, what? You didn't tell me about that $100 thing here or that $50 thing there. So let's talk about carpeting. What are some extras that can come up with in a carpeting installation?
Yeah, carpeting thankfully is, the quotes are smaller and there's less line items usually than on a hard surface job like hardwood or vinyl. But, right off the bat, one of the things is to remove the existing floor covering. Typically carpet, when we do a new carpet installation, if it's an existing home, if it's a renovation, usually there's old carpet to be taken up. So obviously that's quite labor intensive and it has to be disposed of. So there's a cost associated with that for sure. So that's the number one. Doing work on stairs is another one. If you've ever watched carpet being installed, if you're doing it on the stair, it's obviously, again, time consuming, labor intensive, much slower than doing just a big open room. So there's additional labor charges for that. Yeah, and then it's the big three. It's the price of the carpet, price of the underlay, and price of the installation labor. Those are the common ones. And then one of the ones sometimes is furniture. So again, if it's a renovation and if there's furniture existing in the space, we don't like to move it. Nobody likes to deal with it. It's not kind of our business, but we got to get at the floor, right? So oftentimes we can contract with the installer to move some of the larger furniture items. So that's another thing that might be on the quote.
So I want to unpack the first thing that you said about the removal. I remember being, when I was a project manager and being on site, and when some carpets come up, that there is sometimes the underpad has disintegrated, or there's a time when it's been glued down that they thought that needs to happen. So typically, how long does a carpet take to take out, and what is the prep that has to be done afterwards for the new carpet to come in?
Yeah, that removal time all depends. You covered some of the bases there, and that's how I got started in this industry when I was a teenager, was just going ahead of the installers and doing removals. So I've seen it all, from things that went quite quickly and were quite nice to, like you said, disintegrated underlays that had basically become one with the subfloor. They needed to be scraped by hand, and it wouldn't be a lie to say that process would take 10 times as long as a typical removal would take. So it can be anywhere from quite quick to many days worth of removal. Prep, and then to your question with preparation, not a lot. Quite often we'll deal with loose subfloors. So if something was built 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago and they nailed the plywood subfloor down, a lot of times those nails become loose, and we have to put some screws or some nails back in to tighten it up. Sometimes if we are ramping the carpet up and we want a really nice flush finish, say with a ceramic tile, we might put in rubber ramps or create a ramp out of floor patch to create that nice finished edge at the tile or something that's of a higher height. So those are probably the two most common. You don't typically get into floor leveling. It's not usually required for carpet. You don't need to normally skim coat a floor. So it's one of the big advantages of carpet is, it's flexible. It kind of goes with the flow, as we say. So the subfloor preparation costs and work is not even a fraction of what it would be with almost any other type of floor. So to cover a multitude of sins and imperfections, carpet is a great option for sure.
Here's a question that comes top of mind, because I've been in the showroom. Is that great grammar? Yeah, it does. Does different thicknesses or piles of carpet take different labor to install? Like if you just have broadloom that's like really thin to, there's some nice big plushy carpet out there. Does it take any more or less labor to install?
It's a good idea. We should maybe start charging more, but because the rolls are definitely heavier, you know, from the installer. And again, I used to move this stuff around, and you know, you can have two pieces of carpet the same size, and one is 300 pounds and one is 100 pounds. And yeah, it depends on the thickness and the density of the carpet. But no, the only two price categories that we have are whether we're installing a wool carpet or
Okay.
any of the synthetic carpets. So there's a small price difference between those two, not a lot, but wool is obviously more time consuming, and it's a higher quality product. You have to go slower, especially when you're doing the seaming on it. So the installers want to get paid a little bit more for that, which is fair. But yeah, other than that, no, there's no cost in labor, or no labor difference.
Okay, so now I've got carpet to hardwood or carpet to tile. What is the solution for that? Is there extra for that? Or is there some piece that has to be created?
Yeah, and yeah, so every home is different with that for sure. But that's changed a lot just over the years that I've been doing carpet. You know, back in the day, everything was finished with a metal. I'm sure you've seen them. They call them top metals or nap block. They came in either brass or silver, and that was it.
And they were ugly.
And they were ugly. It was easier. So nobody wants those anymore if we can get away with it. So a lot of carpet is in what we just call tight tucked to. So it's you're tucking it to tile or you're tucking it to the hardwood. So there's no transition. And that's where I was mentioning before with the ramps. Sometimes we need to adjust the height of the finished carpet to make sure that it finishes nice. But that transitionless, that clean edge, that's definitely the, you know, the predominant finish that we're going for. Sometimes you might get into something that's unique or custom or wonky, and we'll deal with it at that point. But a lot of those old transitions that were standard for carpet, just they've just become unacceptable to clients, which I understand. They're not nice looking. And we're trying to go to a higher level of finish. So I blame Home and Garden TV for some of these things. They've raised the expectation of finishing, and you know, I kind of laugh, but I'm fine. I think it's for the best.
Well, that a hardwood floor can be installed in one day.
Yeah,
one day.
That part I don't like, because
exactly. It looks
they've
like
edited 99% of the footage to get to that. Yeah, no, they were probably there for 2 weeks, but it looks like one day on TV.
Yeah, exactly. So let's wrap this up. Where would there be a job you would glue down carpet?
Just commercial areas. So if you're getting into any commercial area, you don't want to do a stretched in carpet at that point. And the only question at that point is, are you going to do what's called a single glue, where you glue the you glue the carpet directly to the concrete slab. That's the least expensive, but the least ideal. If you want a really nicely done installation that's going to last the long term, then a double glue is recommended. And that's where we glue a thin rubber underlay, so typically made out of recycled tires. We glue that down, and then we glue the commercial carpet directly to that rubber. And as the name implies, double glue, we've glued it twice. We've glued a layer of underlay, and now we've glued a layer of carpet. That will give some cushion and some give to the carpet, and it'll help so it's more comfortable. And number two, it'll help support the carpet and the yarns, because the underlay actually takes an awful lot of the use and abuse of the foot traffic. So a lot of people don't recognize how important the underlay is, but it's massively important for the life expectancy of the carpet. Okay, so we wrap that up, but you've left a topic there that I would love to cover the first week of October when we're back together, is underlay and underpad, and also for both carpet and for hardwood, because there's a need for both areas, and I think that's a good topic for us to cover. That is a great topic. Why we need it, and if you don't need it, and somebody's trying to talk you into that you do need it, let's cover that the first week of October. I love it. There's a lot of myths and misunderstandings around that, so let's cover that. That sounds great. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So we won't be on next Wednesday. See you back the first week of October for Fast Facts and Features with me, the brand ambassador, Jeanette, with Kevin. I think we're having a good conversation. We may not bring back suppliers, because we just have great conversations, but we love our suppliers. I can talk about flooring all day, no problem. Excellent. Thanks, you so much, Kevin. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.